Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to give you guys a small little update on the Winter Orb Occultist that I started to play a couple days ago in the form of a mapper build, a map juicer build. And oh boy, this is actually getting better and better and better the longer I play it. So as you remember, I bought this like Forbidden Shaco in the MBX classic version. So I spent all of my currency. That was like 80x helmet, and I got it for cheap, actually. And then I equipped my rest of the character for like 10x that was remaining. And after grinding more and more, and no, this is not my Headhunter, by the way. Mitch just lended me this one for the map showcase. I'm still running my Torrents Reclamation. I would love to have a Headhunter on this build. I'm still running my double inspired learning setup here. And this is my usual mapping that I do, but for this map showcase, Mitch lent me his Headhunter so we can have a little bit more fun, because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. So now in this map showcase, we're gonna have Headhunter plus double inspired learning. Good. What else changed? When it comes to cluster jewels, I just want to mention like the core things, then we're gonna run a map, and then we go a little bit more in depth with the path of building and those kind of things. So as I said in the last video, the large cluster jewels are around about, I think, like 20x a piece. So what I did is I was just buying the base, which is like cold damage, 8 passives, and I just chaos spammed it just to have like my actual tree that I planned out for level 100 with the specific notes that I want to take, and not take like any like resistance note whatsoever. So just chaos spammed. Here I have blanketed snow, here I have widespread destruction. So they are pretty much garbage, but I got now my 2 medium cluster jewels with double vast power. The way this works is for each power charge, I get like 3% increased AoE. I currently have 9 power charges in this build. Makes it 27, times 2 is 54, but it caps out on 50. So with my 9 power charges and double vast power, I'm getting the 50% increased AoE. Then I hear like double towering threat, nothing too crazy. On the other side, I still run my Megalomaniac that gives me the blast freeze. So every time I freeze something, the freeze gets spread in a radius of 12, which enables my Herald of Ice to get like this big chain reactions going. And then I have another one here with pressure points, quick gateway. This is basically once you have all your rest done, you want to have this as your max DPS. For example, if I would say screw the inspired learning, screw the Headhunter, I actually want to make a bossing build out of that, I would probably opt in for a third large cluster jewel here and put in another 2 pressure points quick gateway. So these are the ones that make the build like beautiful, right? And these are the ones that give you actually the real damage. And since I said in the start of this project, Winter Orb is all about AoE. That's why I got myself these 2 beauties over here, the Forbidden Flame and the Forbidden Flash, both with the Heart of Destruction, which comes from the Elementalist, which is basically the Convegorance, if I pronounce this properly, I don't know, which is like basically you have 60% increased AoE, which is super nice for Winter Orb, right? But in the terms of single target, once you hit a unique enemy, you gain this Convegorance and you get 30% more ally damage, which is super nice for Winter Orb. Good. Other than that, nothing too big changes. Path of building link is in the description below if you don't care about anything else. But let's take a look at the map showcase, and I hope that I just don't die instantly, because that would be actually quite sad. So we have 4 void stones in with like just some sextants here. We have like beyond magic, like whatever, anything that's good. Then we run a burial chamber here with my sextants, which is divination, breach, legion, and Harvey. Just because I transformed my skill tree a little bit, so I'm trying. I don't know I don't want to know how many orbs of unmaking I have spent in the last like 2 days. At the moment, I'm going for like a breach, legion, strongbox, essence kind of thing with 1 additional sextant use. I don't think this is worth it. At least it works for now, but I think that I want to kind of combine the Legion with Delirium and some Searing X-Arc or the Eater of Worlds. I think this is like very, very good, but just so you see what kind of skill tree am I using here. Good. Now I would say we're gonna pop in beyond our burial chamber, our sextants, and everything activated. We do have the Headhunter on, and we have, or at least we are ready to go. You're gonna see this is probably gonna end up very, very fast, and I'm probably not gonna care about too much about the loot, just because it's going to be quite a lot of like running and stuff, right? So Winter Orb, as I said, probably one of the best juicer builds in my opinion. It's like such a lazy playstyle. It's very, very similar to the Blade Vortex, just it's like a ranged aimbot build-in, so you really only have to do about or worry about the looting part. And other than that, you just run around and just explode things in a good old way. The only difference here is since we have such a hilarious amount of AoE stacked together, we are not running an explode chest. So if you watch this like and be like, yo, where is your explodes coming from? There is no explosion here. The explosions are purely... Dude, what is this lag? Dude, GGG. My game is lagging, I swear. These big chain reactions are purely coming from the combination of like Blast Freeze and Herald of Ice. And then like a lot of like freezing. I have increased effect of non-damaging ailments, which is basically meant for the shock effect or the freeze effect, what I run in this build. And yeah, the more mobs, the better this build actually feels like. And as I said, with a Headhunter with Inspired Learning, this is an absolute monster and an absolute breeze to play. And I would so love to like get myself into like 5-way, or at least not really 5-way, probably even 5 Delirium Orbs farming. I think with a build like that, you can definitely do this just like a typical Headhunter build, if you say it like that. The only thing that's basically missing to an actual Headhunter build would be the self-cursed temp chains, which I personally don't think is too necessary at all. Oh, this explosions, man, it's so beautiful. So, other than that, I'm pretty much farming almost exclusively barrel chambers, because I still have a feeling that I will drop a doctor card at any point. You know, at the moment it did not happen, sadly. Even though I ran like, I don't know, maybe 100 maps already with my current setup. Yeah, what is this speed? And why are my freaking breach stones in the stupid tunnel? There is so much value lost, I think. Especially since the next breach stone is over here. That's actually quite sad. Actually sad breach stone placement. God, who's going to loot all of that shit, man? But yeah, that's like the issue. When somebody borrows you a Headhunter for a couple maps just to test it, you know? And you feel this upgrade and all you want to do is like, bro, I just spent like literally 40x for this Heart of Destruction jewels, but all I want to have now is a freaking Headhunter. So there is a Mega Legion. Oh wait, this is the Mega Harbinger. Here's the Legion. Okay, we are picking up some speed here. I have no idea what's going on, but we are fast, I guess. God, with this amount of AoE, it just feels so fucking good. There is the Legion clear. You know, with all these like Legion enhancing things on the skill tree, you have like a shit ton of time to actually deal with the Legion. And it's pretty much dead at this point, I think. Let's open up some chests for a maybe surprise Exalt somewhere. No, no, no. Does not happen, I guess. Good. There is like just one downside of this build when it comes to barrel chambers, and this is the boss. So usually I don't care about the boss too much, but you're literally... Oh my god, I'm so dead. This map is rip. I hope that Mitch will actually get in. Oh, wait, we can... Okay, we actually did it. So what's the problem with this boss? So, as many people know, she has, like, Alira here has Soul Eater. That means the more monsters you kill next to her, the more stacks she's gonna get. And the problem with the Winter Orb, you cannot really say, yo, bro, don't attack the monster on the left side, just focus, single target the boss, right? That's not how it works. And I would say 50% of the time, I'm not able to kill the boss without Headhunter in that case. Because I run in, I kill all the left packs, and she just one-shots me. And this, like, literally happens, like, non-stop, you know? And that's why I usually just don't even want to deal with the boss anymore. So... Oh no, she's getting big. Freeze her! Aye. Okay, we good, I guess. So, anything in Ritual? Not really. I think, based on the map showcase, we're pretty much done. But as you saw, this is like... It's just a beauty to play once you start like juicing up your maps in a good old-fashioned way. And I really like the fact that I can just go back to the barrel chamber grinding. So the only issues that I still have, I'm running 4 void stones and I still run into the issue that I just cannot sustain my barrel chambers. I don't know how many maps drop there, but usually, maybe, if I'm lucky, if I have my 4 Saxons in, if I have my Scarabs in and so on, then maybe I get 1 barrel chamber out of it. Even though every map is tier 16 and I have 12 barrel chambers, I still have no idea why this is actually occurring. Good. A couple more words about Winter Orb. Let's take a look at the PUB. So there's one big factor that you want to have once you play this kind of build. Balor Mage told me today, you want to have 28 AoE radius, and I need to figure this out. Like, Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flash, you have Convegorance, that means 60% increased decreased AoE, basically, if I have it, right? So this is just the more damage. So I don't really care about if I don't have it, because I have 60% increased AoE, so I'm gonna have a lot of AoE. But what I wanna have, as soon as I don't have this, so for bossing, I need the 28 radius. So I think out of the 5 projectiles with an Awakened GMP, I think it's 6 projectiles. Then 5 will actually overlap on single target, which is actually a big DPS increase. So the number that you see here with the total DPS, this means per projectile, it's 1.2 million or 1.3 mil DPS. So considering I have an Awakened GMP and I'm blasting the boss while channeling, that means this times 5. So I would probably have like 7-8 mil DPS, but it's obviously a lot more because this does not calculate in like my Cold Snap and all the other things that I have adjusted on my character. So the way I can get this one is, I think on this POB, I just need to add a little bit of spice here when it comes to the AoE department here. I need to figure out, but in the end of the day, there is a couple of things that I'm missing here, which is, for example, I need the Harvest Craft, I think it is, with the increased AoE for the weapons, which is another, like, if you have 28% on your weapons, it's like 6% increased AoE times 2. Then there is a belt enchantment, which gives you, sorry, 15% increased AoE as soon as you have Arcane Surge. And since we're running Flame Dash and Arcane Surge on low level, every time we Flame Dash, good, this is like 1 level too high, god fucking damn it. Anyways, but you should have your Arcane Surge on a level where every time you Flame Dash, you should get your Arcane Surge, and this with the Ink AoE. So that would be another like 20-30%. And you can still play around with like something like Widespread Destruction to add a tiny little bit more AoE, gets this like Arcane Expense, and you're gonna have a shit ton of clearing, a shit ton of single target, and it just like this really feels good build. Good. When it comes to the itemization, I did not really upgrade anything from the previous video. I'm still running my super garbage like 1 Exalt chest or whatever it is. I'm still running the exact same gear. So let's go over this real quick. What would be the next upgrade path? So the helm, I don't think I need to change anything here. The Void Batteries, obviously, perfect cast speed would be nice for the faster channeling. The enchant would be nice. If somebody has even more currency, then Alley Pen is probably what you want to have as the corruption. Amulet, this is basically what you need. I took Graceful Assault now just to have this onslaught on kill because it's a mapper build. I don't really care about too much for the dedicated single target, but if I want to go this for a bossing type of style, I would actually anoint the Disciple of the Slaughter. This gives you like a lot of damage as well. I'm actually considering going for some elusive because I'm using the Badge of the Brotherhood, which also says your what is it, 10% increased effect of elusive per power charge. So with 9 power charges, it's like 90%, and elusive gives you like a shit ton of movement speed as well as like less damage taken. So I'm actually should consider anointing this elusive, and maybe even get Withering Step to bounce that left and right to always have like a good amount of elusive. But in my endgame plan POB, I would run like a Tailwind elusive boots anyway, so I don't really need to bother with that. For the chest, you want to have like additional curse, spell crit, frenzy on hit, something like that. It's Awaken Orb together. For the rings, I currently play with the Polaric Devastation for the cover enemies in Frost. What you would like to have is 1 max power charge synthesized implicit rings. I have no idea what they're going for. I would assume somewhere around the 50 exalts just for the base price, and then you're probably looking for life resistance because we use like a bunch of uniques here and we're kind of starved on resistance on that part. So this times 2. For the gloves, you actually, I think you can go with the high gloves, the High Templar, or you take rare gloves, life resistance, something like that, and you could get blast freeze with the new Eldritch implicit. Other than that, if I would stay with the gloves, the High Templar, level of socketed gems, level of socketed AoE gems, because here is our aura setup with an Enlighten, then Alley Weakness, and you're pretty much set, maybe even spell crit, cast speed, life, energy shield, whatever you can fit on top of that. Frenzy Charge is useless. We are power charge stacking and we get the same amount of Frenzy Charges from the Badge of the Brotherhood. So anything that gives you Frenzy Charges is useless. Good. Belt, Headhunter. There is no... You don't want to run anything else, okay? I currently run the Taurus just because I wanted to add more speed, and this like Greater Harbinger of Time basically gives you an aura as soon as you like start casting. There's like this green circle that I will get in a second when my dude is not lazy. I thought he gives me that when I... Ah, here it is. So you see this like green circle, and this is like some kind of tailwind, you know, it gives you action speed, more cast speed, movement speed. So if you don't have a resistance problem, you can definitely go for a Torrent's Reclamation. It's like a super good belt for a substitution once, or at least if you're farming for your Headhunter. Until then, you know, the same way as I do, basically. Boots, Tailwind, Elusive, and you're pretty much set. In the best case scenario, you want to get Onslaught on it as well with, like, elevated mods. I think gem setup is pretty much the same, and I will not go over it because Path of Building is in the description below. But I'm actually going to give you this time 2 Path of Building. One is the one that I currently have equipped, the one that I'm currently running, and the other one is the one that I have prepared for myself. This is this one. This would be my kind of, like, perfect world build, more or less, just with the items that I want to have, with the Alipan, with the AoE, like whatever big items you want to have. This is basically the build or the POB that I started before even starting to play Winter Orb, so I'm gonna give you that as well. That should probably include all these like endgame items as well, even though I have like a little bit too much AoE here, but I'm gonna fix that before I upload this video. Good, overall, beautiful build. That's pretty much all I can say. And my flask sucks, by the way. Obviously, you want to get something like an series extra chaos shit flask. What is it? A series promise. You want to get a bottled faith. You want to get like a big quicksilver flask. You want to get all the good things. And I think the flask setup is actually in my POB in the end game version, in the like the super juice max one. Here you have the flask that you probably want to run with this one as well. And this would actually get up to like 10 mil DPS with a clearing setup times 5 basically. So that shit has like a shit ton of DPS. Good. MTX real quick. Just anything that has Transcendence and the Siren character effect with the Overseer Cold Snap, Celestial Brand, Celestial Frostbomb, Siren Flame Dash. Every aura disabled. The Celestial Winter Orb, the Celestial Herald of Ice, and Dark Immortal Call with the nothing else actually. Good. Bandits, kill all. Take whatever. I mean, this is actually pretty wrong because I cannot get shield. Yeah, just, you know, Pantheons, take whatever your build needs, you know, and if you can, then you could probably take a look into Purity of Elements just for the ailment immunity. I think if I die on this character, then it's because I got frozen, or at least shocked. I got ignited, like all these, like, disgusting things. Good. End of video. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.